Hello, friends. It is indeed a great honor to be a part of this spectacular event themed around water, Jalam. Panorama International Literature Festival 2025, brought to the world by the Writers' Capital International Foundation. Thanks, Dr. Preet Nambiar, for this invitation. I'm so very honored. Yes, water. Water is indeed a major crisis of the present times. Factors like pollution, mismanagement, careless disregard for water wastage, global warming, climate change are responsible for the dearth of enough drinking water, water for cooking and for growing food. We see that the rural areas are negatively impacted by the lack of clean drinking water, suffering from waterborne diseases and a reduction of agriculture production. Unless proper measures are taken to tackle the water crisis, we will continue to be in dire straits. We need to build up community awareness about rainwater harvesting, recycling of water, and efficient irrigation techniques. It is no exaggeration to say that water scarcity has reached an alarming state. And unless the required steps are taken, our future generations are going to bear the brunt. The time is not far when we may even be forced to buy water at exorbitant prices. We have a knack of wasting water, conveniently forgetting that saving water is essential for our planet. Long time back, Coleridge, in his poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, in the most famous poetic lines in the whole of English literature, had lamented, "Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink." Of course, he had said that in a different context, but this famous line encapsulates the water crisis that the world is facing today. It is indeed a pathetic scenario where we find the whole world reeling under the water crisis. Africa accounts for 22% of the world's critical water insecure population. Sub-Saharan Africa has the largest number of water-stressed countries, and it is estimated that out of 800 million people who live in Africa, 300 million live in water-stressed environment. In his short but succinct poem, Water, Ralph Waldo Emerson says that water is a beautiful element in nature and is one of God's most wonderful creations, which is what makes it beautifully natural and pure. Water can give life and also take it away. It is a double-edged sword. If used well, it doubles the joy. If ill-used, it destroys. Hurricanes, tsunamis, and even too much rain could kill plants. Emerson states that water will elegantly destroy. The water understands civilization well. The water understands civilization well. It wets my foot but prettily. It chills my life but wittily. It is not disconcerted. It is not broken-hearted. Well used, it decketh joy. Adorneth, doubleth joy. If ill-used, it will destroy. In perfect time and measure, with the face of golden pleasure. So we see that this poem symbolizes water as a powerful element and its immense potential. While reading the poem, it strikes us that the tone of the poem is like water itself, flowing calmly, peacefully, and lyrically. And one another poem that has always remained close to my heart and mind is the one by Wendell Berry, The Peace of Wild Things. The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water. I rest in the grace of the world and am free. And the water is so rejuvenating and refreshing, and it gives one the feeling of freedom. So many a poet has written poems on water, and I also happened to write a poem which was on water, and it was a poem triggered by a news item which said that the next big war will be fought for water. So this poem is an old one, and it's called I'm Thirsty Mom, I'm Thirsty Mom. The train rumbles on, grumbling at the heat, Through the window, I glimpse a bedraggled fellow curled on a bench, lips parched, huffing, and an empty water bottle rolled to his side. With a wrench, it moves on, huffing and puffing, puffing and huffing, clanging and squealing, rocking along, rocking along. I'm thirsty, Mom. I'm thirsty, Mom, pleads a tiny girl. Hush, child, we have to save the water. Voices colliding against each other in dearth, shrieking, groaning and sobbing, smothering. It grows hotter. Water, water, we want water. Nerves become taut as another helpless mother scolds her parched-lipped daughter. A pugnacious voice booms. A pugnacious voice blooms. How dare you touch my water? Robbing me of the last drop, are you? A confusion of voices, screeching, squeaky, pesky, lungs about to burst. A scuffle, a scrimmage, a hopeless rage. Voices, hoarse with thirst. Rattling pails, piteous wails, palms sweating, hearts ticking. Hyperventilating humans, dried tongues licking drier lips. Water-deprived bodies fighting liquid battles. Frantic urgency, water, 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 water. Nerves now become tauter. Nerves now become tauter. It grows hotter, still hotter. And the cry for water dies. The cry for water dies. Die the people fumbling, tumbling, stumbling and crumbling, mumbling and moaning through singed tongues. No more the rattling of pails, no more the rattling of pails, no more. Low, sudden music floats in the air, vibrating unshackled, thrilling free. No water, no wails, just music. A soothing musicality of a liberation from thirst. The music of death, a threnody. The train rumbles on, the train rumbles on, the train tumbles on towards a waterless dawn. Thank you so much for listening to me.